actually, I got asked to watch this video quite a bit on various different videos. And that is Marksman's video. This one right over yonder. And it is titled The Worst Call of Duty Maps of All Time. And I think the way that he does this, I'm not sure, but I think the way that he does this is he goes through every Call of Duty game and says what his least favorite map is.
I've been looking forward to doing this for a while. The worst Call of Duty maps throughout history.
Ink, what is your bench? Sorry, I got distracted. Also, camera, figure it out today. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I can do... Actually, well, I know I can do 190 for 10. But I don't go heavier than that because I get hurt. So I'm sure I could maybe get like close to 300 with a max. I don't know. Maybe like 280 for a max of 2, maybe? I don't know.
History. Starting at COD 4, because that's when I feel like the love for the game kind of blew up. And when I started playing it myself, I switched over from Halo and started playing more COD and COD 4. So, yeah, we're going to start there. Now, if you enjoy the video, like and subscribe. Would love to...
COD 4. We're doing this again, by the way. COD 4, I'm guessing COD 4 is going to be... Is it Wetwork? The one on the boat. The one on the boat. Number 2... World at War, definitely CeeLo.
Have you back. Also, I'm going to need some of your comments. You might disagree with some of these, but there's a few games that I didn't play a lot of, and I had to ask for some advice on, and we'll see if you guys agree with the overall votes that we had for it. All right? This is coming from someone who mainly plays Search and Destroy. A lot of times, the Respawn players agree, though. I've learned that over time. Let me hit play on this so I can kind of narrate through it. We're starting off with Call of Duty 4, and in COD 4,
called that one.
There was Wetwork.
So the thing with Wetwork is triple frag was a thing, and triple frag, this map was a straight line. Think Santacina border crossing, which if he doesn't pick that for the next Modern Warfare 2, he's wrong. Anyway, you can just huck 3 nades and you're almost guaranteed 1 kill because nades were so good in that game.
Was a giant boat map. I don't have audio on this clip because there was copyright music being played. I do have audio on most of these, but it was a giant boat and it was basically a huge straight line. Even though there is technically a left and right lane on the map,
there is
a lane.
It's a straight.
It really didn't exist because the lanes were like all
dark
jumbled
gameplay.
together.
This dark
they weren't
gameplay,
really separated apart for the most part. And you end up just dying to a ton of grenades on this map. 3 times.
I'm assuming DLC maps, but I guarantee World at War is CeeLo.
Just aiming straight down, whipping them over. You would get, I don't know, 10, 15 kills a game. It was absurd. And there was honestly a problem in COD 4 as a whole. 3 times frags and frag grenades being just too damn good. This map easily was one of the worst maps in the game. Not only was it hard to see people because it was a night map, it was also very campy with snipers who would sit up on the top and just never move. And on top of it, you would also have this constant, you don't hear it in the video right now, but constant rain sound effect because it's in the rain. So Wetwork was COD 4's worst map. People did not like it. It was hard to move around on, and it was just a giant standoff typically of holding left trigger.
Oh,
moving into World at War. World at War was Downfall. You guys might...
Okay, so I dislike CeeLo more, but Downfall is a great choice because tanks, if you can guarantee he's going to mention this, but tanks on this map, they'd spawn so frequently and the map was small enough where you could just rain hell with tanks.
I don't even remember this map. It was huge. It was huge in Respawn.
It wasn't bigger than CeeLo.
It was huge in Search and Destroy. It was just a big ass map all around. And on top of it, it also, I think, had tanks.
Yes, it did.
I'm pretty sure tanks spawned.
Okay, wait. So what is Modern Warfare 2 going to be? What is Modern Warfare 2 going to be? Like, it won't be Wasteland. I don't think it'll be Afghan. Derail. Of course it's Derail.
On this map,
of course it's Derail.
They spawned on Roundhouse. They spawned on Outskirts, I believe, as well. This was the main reason I started playing Search and Destroy. I loved Search, but I hated tanks. I hated vehicles in Call of Duty. Didn't like it at all.
I never agreed with someone more.
It was annoying to deal with. Absolutely despised it. And I was like, oh, well, looks like Search doesn't have vehicles, and I like Search already. I'm just going to play Search. And that was pretty much where it all started. And I stuck with it for the last 16 years. But Downfall was a bad map. It was not good. It was very wide open. There was not a lot of places to go. And if you did want to get into a spot...
I loved Search and Destroy in World at War. Side note, there was a glitch in World at War where you'd get into a Search and Destroy game and it would be like super speed. I don't know if anyone remembers
where
that.
You were kind of safe. It was just a super campy mess. You basically just sat in corners.
You went with Wasteland over Derail?
Modern Warfare 2 had some bad maps, as you guys have seen now. And Wasteland had to take the cake.
No.
Derail was obviously not very good. A lot of people didn't like Rundown either, but Wasteland was unanimously hated by everybody.
You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong.
Not only because there was very poor vision on the map, but because spawn tubes absolutely annihilated it.
True,
and
but that made it funny.
If you got a streak on this map like a Harrier, it was basically a guaranteed nuke.
Which is awesome.
So if you were trying to go for a really fast nuke, I think Wasteland had the fastest nuke in the game for the original Modern Warfare 2.
Oh, Man of Stealth saying he's right.
Seconds. That's quick.
Wait. Man of Stealth, you'd take Wasteland over... No, sorry, you take Derail over Wasteland? The hell, man? Finally made a live stream. I watched this video the other day, and there's a couple of choices that he made that have made me react like that. Well, I'm looking forward. I like that. I like the hot takes.
Warfare 2 streaks or kills with streaks would apply to your nuke. So you would go for a spawn tube, you'd kill the whole team essentially right away. You would get a Harrier, you'd call the Harrier in. It would give you your AC-130. You use the AC-130, you get the nuke. It would take very little time at all. Wasteland was horrible. We didn't like it, and let's forget about it until, of course, later in this video. Because it's coming back with a vengeance. Moving
what? He's going to say that in Modern Warfare 3 again?
Past Modern Warfare 2, you guys
I forgot to do Black Ops. What would I do for Black Ops? Well, I know what he's doing, obviously. I also don't agree with this one. This is like a weird map, but I don't think it's bad. What was a bad map in Black Ops 1? If I had to pick one... Yeah, this is Kowloon that he is picking here. If I had to pick one, I think I would go with, was it Array? The winter map? Was it called Array?
They even know this map. This is a DLC map of Black Ops 1. It was called Kowloon. Just listen.
The rain. He hates the rain noise. Don't diss Array.
That might have rang a bell. Kowloon was an annoying map because, again, nighttime-ish, dusk.
You can fall off the map.
With rain. You're going to notice a trend on some of these maps chosen.
And wait. We got to do Modern Warfare 3 after. Ooh, Modern Warfare 3. Modern Warfare 3 I didn't play a lot. I don't even know if I have like a preference for Modern Warfare 3.
You'd have a airplane fly over you louder than all... I don't know why would you do that? It was so loud.
I can't think of one. There's a lot of bad ones.
Kowloon
I think of Modern Warfare 3.
Was a pretty despised map back in BO1. It was a DLC map though.
That's
so
a game I didn't play much, if I'm being honest with you.
Most of the game. In terms of how the map was laid out, it wasn't bad. But
I agree
it wasn't
with this.
good. It was pretty campy. Was the problem?
So I think essentially the reason why he actually doesn't like this map is the dark and the rain.
On every route you took, you would probably get camped.
We talking old Modern Warfare 3,
combined
correct?
with the low visibility nighttime, the annoying sound of rain, that stupid airplane, which by the way would fly over you every round of search and destroy, not just once a game.
Okay, I get it now.
It was annoying. It was annoying, and nobody liked it. Black Ops 1 otherwise, though, had a lot of good maps in it. I was looking through a lot of them.
We did this the other day. Someone was like, Black Ops 1 had no bad maps. I'm like, come on. And then I went back and looked, and I'm like, Black Ops 1 had good maps.
Dude, I don't really see when that sits out. It's like, this sucks. And then I saw Kowloon and was like, dude, I remember that one. And so yeah, I had to pick it. Kowloon was the worst map of BO1. I liked BO1 as a game. A lot of people chose to go back and play Modern Warfare 2 during this time.
Yeah.
People didn't really like older Call of Duty games. World at War, Black Ops 1. BO2 was a little futuristic.
Oh, of course it's this map. Yeah,
After
I
BO1
agree with
was
this.
Modern Warfare 3.
Downturn
was the worst map of Modern Warfare 3.
I agree with this.
Everyone hated this map.
This map was
and
horrible.
Although you're watching footage that I could find in decent quality, this guy stayed on the top street in the house. Downturn was disliked because it was very campy up on the top street and in the house, but also if you went down below into the subway system, you couldn't see shit. It was so dark.
Aftermath?
It was campier than hell. This map sucked. And at the same time, if you ever got a streak on it, it would never
or
hit
drone.
anybody
I didn't
because they
like
would all
drone
somehow be
either.
inside. So there was tons of camping spots, tons of head glitching spots.
I didn't mind
At the same
Meltdown. It was
time,
big,
if you
but
went out in the open for a second, someone would usually kill you because it was very snipe heavy down the big lanes. But this was a bad map, man. It was a bad map. It was funny because when I talked about Modern Warfare 3 and bad maps, Slade brought this map up, and he didn't know the name of it. And I was like, that was Downturn. Downturn
either Aftermath or Drone.
sucked. It was not good in any game mode, unfortunately. And yeah, it could have been better without this map. But Modern Warfare 3 as a game was pretty good overall. I thought it was a little bit ruined with Recon Pro and Sitrep
Yemen
Pro.
was good. I did like
not have
Yemen.
had those big
I like
issues
Grind. You're saying
in,
Grind's the worst map?
Respawn,
No way,
but
Jose.
in Search, they were bad. In Respawn, I could see Sitrep Pro being bad, but probably not Recon Pro. So this game ended up in the top 3, maybe top 4 COD games for me of all time.
Really?
But it was not near number 1 or number 2. BO2 had to be number 1, and you'll see the worst map for that.
Excuse me? Slums? I'm speechless.
That right now. Slums. Even though BO2 had a lot of good maps, Slums was really bad for Search and Destroy because it was
has to be a Search and Destroy
unfair
thing.
how close the defense team would spawn to the middle. And you could get to the middle before offense, and when you do that, it basically
That's
locked off the whole
wild.
map. So you couldn't really play.
Wild.
I'm guessing it plays relatively similarly in other objective-based game modes. I'm not sure.
By the way, Call of Duty Ghost, there is a correct answer for the worst map in Call of Duty Ghost. Call of Duty Ghost had a lot of bad maps. Whiteout being one of them, absolutely massive. Stonehaven being one, way too big. Stormfront being one of them. But the number one worst map in that game was Siege. It had a pit you could fall into in the middle, and then the spawns were so far apart. The answer is Siege. I bet you even forget about that map because guess what? It was removed from 6v6 play because it was too big. The correct answer is Siege. It was only in Ground War, and if you didn't play Ground War, you didn't get that map.
Sure how Team Deathmatch plays.
Look it up,
on
Siege.
Slums, if people liked it or disliked it, if you got spawn trapped too much. But BO2 was actually just one of the best games, the best Call of Duty game ever made, but just one of the best games for maps overall. You had maps like Standoff, you had maps like Raid that were even brought back into Cold War, maps that were hijacked, Express, maps that were so good and very linear and fair for both offense
He's probably
and
going to pick
defense
Stonehaven, though.
that it was just a wildly successful game.
This
It
is a
had
wild
rank play
take,
on
though.
release. It had customizable player cards. It had
Slums wild pick. Wild
your,
pick.
Your combat record, which you could see public combat records. You had lobby leaderboards. You had map voting, which is surprising that was taken away.
Charlie Intel tweeted. Charlie tweet? We got a Charlie tweet? I don't see a Charlie tweet. Oh, Treyarch. Call of Duty Black Ops campaign will be longer than Black Ops Cold War. Treyarch confirms to IGN. Even if you do try to speedrun the version of it, it's going to be longer than Cold War. Okay.
You had red dots on the minimap. This game had and did relatively everything right. The only complaint I would have of BO2, it had dead silence as a perk, was that it had awareness as a perk as well. That kind of countered the dead silence. Only problem. Moving on to Call of Duty Ghosts.
Siege is worse.
This was one of the worst games ever made to me. And this is, in my opinion, the worst map ever made in any Call of Duty game since the dawn of time.
Siege is worse.
Stonehaven. This map, as you can tell, is absolutely enormous. This map was so big that when you played it on console and you would aim across it with a sniper, you would actually lose frame rate. You would go from a 60
That's actually
FPS
hilarious.
game
I
down
didn't
to like
know
a
that.
30 FPS game, and it made it so it was very difficult to snipe at distances, which was the entire map itself. Even if you were to move...
Next up, Advanced Warfare. Advanced Warfare is next, right? I'm going to either say Horizon or Instinct. Yeah.
around on this map, you would probably get sniped at some point, or you would get camped out because once you got near the castle, it was relatively campy. I left this up because I cannot believe this was actually a map in COD. Dude, Ghost had a lot of bad maps. The game itself was not good. It was
had a
very
lot of bad
linear
maps.
with the map creation, And what I mean by that is that even though
They were
the
huge.
lanes, there had 3-lane
They were
maps,
huge.
you would get to a point where you couldn't go any further. And the kill time in Ghost was probably the fastest it's ever been in the franchise, along with COD 4. And so because you die faster, and how this is a problem in every COD, the faster you die, the more people camp. And so when you would rush on these maps and you would push forward, they would get to certain points where the head glitch would be, and people would just never go further. Because they knew if they were, or if they did, they would get head glitched back, and they would have...
With the tier 1 Jaqueen coming in. I don't know if that's how you say her name, but I appreciate
no
you, dude.
chance to win the gunfight because you died so fast. Instantly. It was insanely quick. Sniping was good in this game. It did have very fast ADS and very fast kill time, but because the kill time was so fast,
The kill time on everything was good.
It didn't stick out that much.
Fast. I shouldn't say good. It was fast.
It's unfortunate though, because Ghost could have been pretty decent.
I disagree.
Also, as you can see from this gameplay, thermals were used on everything. Used thermal sniper, thermal LMG, thermal Remington, thermal everything. It was a little annoying. Ghosts, yeah, a lot of the competitive guys liked this game. I guess because they banned a lot of the stuff that was stupid in pubs.
Wait,
but there was
did
a
competitive
lot of
people
dumb
like this
crap
game?
in pubs, and it made the game awful. Awful in search, and I would consider awful in respawn as well. So, that was Call of Duty Ghosts, and that was the worst map in COD ever made, Stonehaven.
That's you.
Couldn't even function properly at the correct frame rate if you looked across it. It was so large. I hope to God they never do that again. We'll see. We'll see. There was actually an equally large map in World at War called, was it CeeLo? Maybe
See?
CeeLo? But you never
That's what you
spawned
should
on
have
the
picked.
backside of it in search. You never looked across the full map, so you didn't have that frame rate problem. Past Call of Duty Ghosts,
I got this one.
we had Advanced Warfare. And this is the Instinct in Advanced Warfare.
Black
this map was
Ops
annoying because it was just a
3.
big hill, and if you were stuck on the bottom of it, you kind of got...
So honestly, all of the Black Ops 3 maps were pretty good. I'm trying to think. It's got to be a DLC map. Like, what map would it be, though? There was like, whoa, what was the map, the DLC map? You're going to have to help me here. DLC map that had the mechs on it.
Picked off nonstop, along with the fact that it was very head glitchy on the stairwell and kind of campy when it came to the forest side.
The water
It's the
park
left
map
side
was
of the
amazing.
What is
Don't
that?
you even say that,
The
Killer Shark.
West side of it. You kind of blend in. Advanced Warfare really didn't have a lot of terrible
It was a
maps,
remake of a World
but
at
it
War
didn't
map.
have
You
a
were
lot of
right.
good maps either. It was kind of a lot of B tier, C tier maps. Not a lot stuck out as A tier.
I actually agree with this. I don't think really Advanced Warfare had any horrible maps, but it didn't really have any great maps either.
But they weren't horrible to the point where you would call them like Stonehaven level. So Instinct was AW's worst map. This game was plagued mainly with the supply drops, the pay to win system, having the Obsidian Steed, Bal, or the Bal Inferno,
Or ASM
the
on
HBR
Speakeasy.
Insanity, and you would just have a disadvantage. Those people could kill you faster, and that was lame. And yeah, I'm glad that we don't have that problem anymore. I'm glad that's gone. Past,
Yeah.
what was it? Advanced Warfare, Black Ops 3.
We got it right.
Black Ops 3's DLC map, Rupture.
Rupture,
comes in
that
at
was the
number
name
one
of
as
it.
the worst map. You might recognize it because of the mechs on it. This was
Yeah.
the last DLC of BO3. So
Okay, what do
maybe you
we-
didn't play the full life cycle and you didn't experience this? That's totally
Advanced
fine.
War- or
Congratulations,
Infinite
you
Warfare
won.
after this?
This map fucking sucked. The mechs were annoying. And yes, by the way, the mechs were in Search and Destroy, at least from what I
man.
remember.
What
'Cause I don't
map
play
in
much
Infinite
Respawn. I
Warfare?
remember having to deal with the mechs. Oh, this map was not good.
What
it was
map?
not good. But there is another map. There's a runner-up in Black Ops 3 that was in the game from launch.
Dominion?
Because I know a lot of people probably didn't last until the final DLC of the game. And
Dominion,
so the
maybe?
runner-up for the Black Ops 3, and BO3 had a lot of good maps in it. A lot of maps I liked, even DLC maps like
Yeah.
Micro or Splash.
Yeah.
Or, what was it? The skateboard map. Is it Grid? I don't remember that. I don't think it's that. But
Grind. It was-
there's a few bad ones.
that was
This one
also
it,
Black
and
Ops
then
2.
Exodus was the runner-up for Black Ops 3. And I have a little bit of gameplay of Exodus as well to jog your memory, because I feel like if you don't see the gameplay, you might not remember the map. There's a lot of maps we've played over time, right? Exodus wasn't that bad of a map, except for the outside. The outside, this is the...
Honestly, Rupture, and for the main maps, I don't disagree with this.
This isn't too bad. It was a little shotgun heavy, which, you know, in BO3 that was the brekkie and pretty. It was pretty
the broccoli gun.
Shotgun, I agree. The outside of the map was very head glitchy and campy though, so you kind of had to play the middle, in my opinion.
Should I read this article on the IGN campaign after this video?
I don't know.
I'll read it. We'll read it on stream.
Exodus was that bad, but it wasn't great, and it was definitely dominated by brekkies and the akimbo. Was it Marshalls, the pistol shotguns?
I'll find it.
It was not fun.
I like
the outer
Redwood,
edge of the
by
map
the way.
was just head glitch city and very boring, and it was hard to grenade people off those head glitches. I struggled a lot with that. So, moving past BO3 though, we're getting into Infinite Warfare. This is a map I need your guys' help with. I asked some friends and on Twitter. I did not play Infinite Warfare. It's the first Call of Duty I never hit max prestige in. I thought it was the worst game, and I think it's well voted at this point from the community based on sales numbers.
This map wasn't great.
It was the worst game they've ever made. Infinite Warfare Grounded is what people said was the worst map in Infinite Warfare. They said IW, despite it not being a good game, it didn't have the worst maps.
We had World War II after this?
A slight uptick, but everything else, about Infinite Warfare was bad. I didn't like the health bars above heads. I didn't like the kill times.
I don't mind the health bars.
Like the weapons. I didn't like the audio. I didn't like.
There's a map I'm thinking of here for Call of Duty World War II.
You turn to a freaking rabid dog. I hated Infinite
the hell's
Warfare.
The name of it?
I did.
It was the name. It was the one with the big thing down the middle of it. Oh, also USS Texas was really bad too. Gustav cannon, is that it?
And again, the game sales kind of back this up, and I think the general census of the community, it is and was the worst Call of Duty ever made. So at least I was kind of with the times back then. I'm not sure if I still have the same opinion as other people nowadays based off my recent tweets. I think that Cold War was not a great game, and people said it was great.
Vanguard is the worst Call of Duty game of all time.
We're going to talk about that later. Going past Infinite Warfare, World War II. Did not like
this
game that much, mainly because it was an old game. Gustav Cannon.
Yep.
Was the most hated map in World War II. Definitely disliked in every mode. It was not liked in search. It was not liked in respawn. It was hated. Gustav Cannon was giant open map. You get sniped on it nonstop. It was hard to push up on. If you could camp, you'd camp on top of the big part and you'd snipe as well. It was
so Black Ops 4 is interesting because it had a bunch of remake maps.
It was annoying. And World War II, in general, people just don't like older Call of Duty games. Going through the history of COD, people didn't like World at War. They went back and played COD 4. They didn't like BO1. They went back and played Modern Warfare 2. They finally liked BO2. But for years and years, and you look at World War II, people
Madagascar,
like
Black Ops 4. Madagascar.
BO3, me included, I think, after a while. You looked at Cold War. People didn't like Cold War. They went back and played Modern Warfare 19.
Sandstorm's a great choice, too.
Same thing. People don't like older Call of Duty games.
That's true.
They just don't. They prefer to play more modern era stuff.
I think like what Black Ops does is good, and I think what Black Ops 2 did was amazing, where they had like an old school story mixed with new school,
or even a little futuristic. But moving past World War II, we go into the future with Black Ops 4. I didn't play much BO4 because I was on Fortnite at the time, but BO4, people voted for Arsenal Sandstorm.
Yeah, I'd also choose Madagascar.
I can totally understand why, looking at this footage.
Yeah.
The guy's using a thermal, and you can't see jack squat outside. This looks like a terrible map. Why the hell? I don't know how you could.
Well, then we had Modern Warfare 2019.
Arsenal, which is a map that was already in the game. Added
Piccadilly?
A giant sandstorm to it and thought, yeah, this was an improvement. My only guess is they Arsenal maybe suffered from too many snipers, and they were like, oh, well, let's limit their visibility by making it so they can't see across the whole map.
Could be Piccadilly.
Yeah, it didn't work. I think it still looks like shit. It looks bad.
There's a bunch of bad ones, though.
I totally understand why you guys would have hated this. I would hate this too. A lot of the maps people voted for were maps that were already in the game and had slight effects or changes to them.
Yeah.
Arsenal was one of those. And there's a few runner-ups for Black Ops 4 because there were quite a few votes for these maps as well.
Oh, I like this map. Don't say that.
Arsenal Sandstorm, there was Hacienda Night.
Oh, someone did say Hacienda Night.
I actually like night maps if they're done correctly. This was not done correctly. When you walk into rooms and you can't see anything because it's too dark.
Yeah, look at this. Look at this gameplay. You can't even see those people.
I guess, when I think of nighttime mode maps, the first one I ever played well, Night and Day was making in World at War.
Right.
And that was a decent
somewhat
version
dark.
of Night and Day. It wasn't so dark you wouldn't see anything, but it was also
I'm not gonna lie, I really like Black Ops 4. I really did like Black Ops 4.
dark enough that you could tell it was like in a dusk, nighttime-ish map. Now, there's another nighttime map coming up that was also extremely well hated. And but, before we get to it, there is a third map for BO4 that people voted for a lot, which I probably would have liked. I'm going to be honest. This last map, I enjoy trolling a little bit with water maps.
I forgot about this.
But it was Flooded Jungle. I like hiding under the water and shooting people because it gets reactions and it pisses people off, and I think that's funny. But if you're not trying to go for that kind of content, it is annoying. If you're trying to play maps like this, or you're trying to play maps like, gosh, what was the parking garage map in Ghost, or perhaps even
I forgot.
play as Lighthouse.
Oh my god!
Was it Modern Warfare? That was MW2. Yeah, MW2. And you're trying to play those seriously, you're gonna have a bad time. You cannot take these maps serious. They're not serious maps. They're trolly maps, gimmicky as hell, and unfortunately, sometimes the gimmick doesn't go off well, and everybody hates it, like the sandstorm. I probably would have liked trolling with the water a little bit. That being said, I
can't even tell where the hell we are on this map
all the time, or a lot of the time, because it's just, you know, even though you can come out of water and you can hide in the water, whenever you enter or exit water, you do make noise and you get sound. You get heard for doing it and killed all the time. It's annoying. So, Arsenal, Sandstorm, Hacienda Twilight, or Flooded Jungle. Which was the worst for BO4? Again, I didn't play
Arsenal.
a lot of BO4. I was on Fortnite at the time. Let me know.
You went with Afghan.
Modern Warfare 19, I think we all know. Ashir Cave.
Ashir Cave.
Otherwise known as Ass Hair Cave. This map sucked.
Over Piccadilly,
This map sucked. We did not like this map. It was very hard
I didn't like this map either.
Visibly see people, even outside, because of kind of the dusky desert.
I didn't like this map either.
And then when you're in the tunnel, it was even
Modern
darker.
Warfare 2019 had horrible
people.
maps, though.
On top of it, both bomb sites were spawned next to defense.
A couple good ones, but
and even further to annoy you is that the head glitches were absurdly good.
Do we have Vanguard after this, or do we have Cold War?
You couldn't really pick them up.
Do we have Vanguard? We had Vanguard after this, right?
Off of it. This map, I almost always, I had a thermal HDR, and I would throw smoke grenades, and I would one-way them through the smoke with a thermal, because it was the only way that you could actually knock them off the lane.
This is another great choice.
Control of it. But there's a runner-up. Besides the sheer cave, it was Euphrates Bridge. I think it's pronounced Euphrates. Yeah.
A great choice
I
here.
don't remember this being a search map. Honestly, I don't remember being a search map, but it sucked. I did play it a few times when I was playing Respawn. Maybe we just never got it much in search, or we left if we got it. But this map was horrible.
Weird pick for me. But for Vanguard, I didn't like... Numa wasn't horrible. Berlin, maybe? Maybe Berlin?
I mean, yeah, I agree. This map was bad. I hated it when I played Respawn. The people would hide up on the bridge, or they would hide back in the houses, or they would hide on head glitches.
Wait,
almost always.
Is it Cold War first? Is it Cold War first? It's cold. Do I always do this? I do this every time. I do this every single time that we do one of these videos. I think Vanguard came out before Cold War, and I don't know why. I don't know why I always do that. Okay, let's do Cold War first. I got to think here. I did not like Miami. I did not like Miami. But was it the worst? I mean, we could go with some of the bigger maps like Armada. Or Cartel sucked at first. Crossroads sucked because the tanks. Then we get into like DLC stuff. Nothing too bad. I would say either Crossroads, Miami, or Armada, which were all the bigger maps.
Was just hiding and sniping. And again, maps that play like that aren't fun. It's just not fun to deal with snipers that are camping that you can't challenge because they one-shot you the second you peek.
Satellite. You went with Satellite. I liked Satellite.
And funny enough, the other bridge map that I could think of was in World at War. It also sucked. It wasn't the worst map in World at War, but it did suck. Going past it, though, finally into Cold War. Satellite. Satellite was a shit map, completely open, basically no cover, absolutely no rush routes whatsoever in search on this map, really, besides down the middle lane. It was ass. This map was balls. This game, in my opinion, was balls.
I disagree with that. I just think the score streak sucked.
Not balanced snipers, it ruined the game. It ruined the game. And people are like, oh, maybe you're just bad. I showed my KD. I pulled up my stats recently. I have a 4.7 KD with the
Oh, look at me. I'm so good at the game.
100 in this game. 4.7. And it's my most used weapon.
This is what I was
the
saying.
The problem was when you played Search, at least, I don't play a lot of Respawn, so maybe it was better in Respawn. But in Search, if you wanted to use anything that wasn't a sniper, you had to overkill it with a sniper to open up the lane. So I hated Cold War. Vanguard, though, also wasn't well liked. And Numa was probably the worst map of Vanguard. This map was very campy as well.
Oh man! Next, Modern Warfare 2. Whew. There's so many options. Honestly, there's so many bad maps in Modern Warfare 2.
Head glitchy. It did have some lanes, but because the lanes were very head glitchy, you couldn't move up the lane very well. You basically, if you moved, you died. It sucked. Unfortunately, Vanguard to me was better than Cold War, mainly because Vanguard was the best World War II game they've ever given us. There were a lot of attachments. There were a lot of guns. Was everything balanced properly and correctly? No. No. But it's the best World War II game that we ever had. They gave you in-depth stats to those weapons. If you were looking for a game like for a World War II game, I think this is what you'd be looking for nowadays. I think the aesthetic of the game worked out really well. It was definitely better than World War II. So, Modern Warfare 2022.
Another one of the worst games of all time.
This map, I mean, it's up there.
It is up there.
Absolute utter trash. Everyone hated this on Respawn. They hated it in Search.
What do we go for Modern Warfare 3?
To make it so the cars wouldn't blow up. And
what do we go for Modern Warfare 3?
Fix the map. It was still complete dick. We did not.
Oh, he's probably gonna go Wasteland again.
People hated this map. It was actually removed from the game for a short time, and that was great. It would have been fine if they kept it out forever. Didn't matter. We hated it. But even though we hated border crossing, and everyone would leave whenever it was voted for, whenever it would pop up, because you couldn't vote for the map in this game, I think. Or maybe it just got voted, and sometimes by accident. There was another map that people also hated. Yeah, Black Gold. Ooh, DLC map.
I honestly didn't really like the Brenberg Hotel either.
Map. And this would also clear out lobbies. The second border crossing or Black Gold would show up as the map to play, everybody would leave nonstop. Nonstop. Leave, join, leave, join, leave.
I wonder what he's going to say.
Crazy. And yeah, I don't blame him. This map could be fun to troll on a little bit here and there.
Modern Warfare 3 had good maps,
but for the most part, it was shit. It was a lot larger than it needed to be. It was very campy. You couldn't aim your gun down. Like, it would only go into tac stance if you wanted to try to shoot, unless you had a laser, I think, or there was some way to get around it. I forget though.
We knew he was going to do Wasteland again.
But the map was bad, and nobody wanted to play it. So that was fine with most of us. We kind of all just agreed that no one would ever play it, and if we got that map, we'd leave. It was good. Black Gold, though, last but not least, Modern Warfare 2023. The only map to make the list twice is Wasteland again. This map,
I don't know why
even though it is 15 years later,
he hates this map so much.
I
hope he gives like one of the new maps.
And they actually
for Modern
improved
Warfare
upon some of the other maps in the game, like Rundown or Derail, or
no, Derail sucks.
Some of these larger maps.
Derail's still worse.
Derail more visible. You could see better on it.
You can see better on this map.
Snow, mist in the air. And they made Wasteland a little bit more clear as well. But that didn't matter. Wasteland in this game was as ass it was before, and no one likes it at all. It's not fun to play on. Even though you could take away the spawn tubes, you could take away the thermal snipers as a little bit, it was bad. Wasn't a good map. And so it makes the list twice.
There's a dark past with this map. Fair enough.
And I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed the worst.
If you were going to pick one of the new maps for Modern Warfare 3 to be like the worst map, what would you pick? Like, for me, this is unpopular opinion. I didn't like 6-star, but I don't think it's a worst map. Like, why? Incline? Is Incline the I'm trying to look at, like, okay, here we go. I got a good list. 6-star is not worse than the game. I like Grime. I like Grow House. Checkpoint's weird. Paris is big. I would say the worst two would be Paris, Tokyo. Actually, the worst ones are mainly Crown Raceway and yeah, those ones. And Brenberg, because I know that's in there too. But I didn't dislike Paris. I actually really liked Paris for search. Tanked. It's tanked. It's tanked. Jaden, what's up, dude? It's tanked. What are we saying?
Good morning, Inc.
Tank's the stupid one, right? That's way bigger than it looks in the pictures. It's got to be tanked.